All right, guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, gonna go over an article titled "Guy is Dumped by Gold Digger Girl, Counters All Her Revenge Attempts Against Him, and Screws Her Financially Big Time." And guys, this is a story where classic situation where a guy, he gets with a girl, they were friends before they officially started dating. Okay, friends for years. And he thought that she was really cool and sweet and great and all that. They start dating, hooking up, all that. Eventually, they move in together and get engaged. And he thinks everything's great. By and large, he's the one making all the money. I mean, she has some part-time job eventually, but he's making all the money. She's living off him, enjoying the benefit of all that. And then up in one day, she decides she doesn't want to struggle financially anymore, even though he pretty much took care of everything. Treat her like a queen, all that. She basically wanted for nothing. And she ends it with him. And not only that, she then tries to take everything that he owns out of his apartment and every last little thing. And then when he tries to obviously get his stuff back and all that, she does all this crazy stuff to try to get revenge on him. It's unbelievable, okay? And this whole article details this. And guys, this is what I've been telling you all along, that this shit can happen. And I've warned you guys what can happen when you move in with your girlfriend. I've told you before, guys, if you want to have girlfriends and do an exclusive relationship, okay, I got no problem with that. But given how things are in this day and age, you could be in for a lot of shit if you move in with one of them. Not just what's going to go on in this story, but just a lot of bullshit and drama. And also there's the common law issues in different states in the United States. And some countries, you could just live together for a short period of time, and it's considered common law marriage, and she could have ownership of half your shit. It's unbelievable. And not to mention all the drama you can deal with and how all of a sudden once you move in together, you're on the hook for her part of the bills and all that. Just not worth it. So I'm going to go into this, guys. You're going to see what I'm talking about here. Starts off saying, the best revenge is when you let someone screw themselves over without even lifting a finger, which is what Redditor Karma's Revenge experienced when dealing with his gold-digging wench of an ex-girlfriend who not only stole all the furniture of his house when they broke up, but tried to dick him over in a multitude of uncalled ways. Tried to shut his electricity off? Check. Tried to sell his car? Check. Tried to hack his email? Check, check, check. But not to matter, what she did failed. Why? Because karma's a bitch, especially when you're being a piece of shit. So now it's going to get into his story here. He says here, I dated a girl about 4 years. Let's call her Brandy. That's usually a bitchy girl's name. Every Brandy I've ever known was a fucking pain in the ass. We were best friends before we dated. Then we dated for about 4 years. She was awesome. I loved her very dearly. As far as I knew, we were awesome together and great as friends and as lovers. As far as he knew, he said. We rarely ever fought. We got along great. We got engaged and had plans to get married. As far as I knew, everything was perfect. In fact, I still doubt I will ever find another partner that I am that compatible with. Well, obviously, you weren't that compatible with her because she's a psycho, and you're going to see what I'm talking about in a moment. I spoiled her too. Maybe that was my biggest fault. I always let her go shopping whenever, wherever she wanted. I kept her fed from a golden spoon and wrapped her in the finest linens. Even if she didn't ask, I typically enjoyed spoiling her. That's just how I am. Well, in a perfect world, you could do all these nice things for someone you deeply care about and think that they're going to then appreciate it so much, they're going to treat you really well, in a very loving, respectful manner. But unfortunately, and it's human nature, but especially when it comes to women, they're almost like little children. Like, you give a little kid all these things at once, and like a little kid very likely is going to become a spoiled, entitled asshole. So you can't do that. And that's why I tell you guys, like, if you're going to do gifts for your girlfriend, whatever it happens to be, do it very, very sparingly, okay? Valentine's Day, if you do that bullshit, birthday, maybe even if you do an anniversary after being together for a long, long time. Again, this is for you guys to do relationships. That's it. But just giving her a blank check or your credit card to go shopping or something, come on here. A lot of women are going to completely milk that for everything it's worth and lose respect for you. And they're going to become spoiled, as you can see here, and feel that she's owed everything. She had recently gotten a part-time job as a funeral director's assistant, paying $10 an hour, and I had subsequently gotten her a new cell phone line for her as a work line, as a celebratory gesture, because she had been wanting a Note 5 and wasn't due for an upgrade. She said she would pay for the balance on the old phone with her first check. Yeah, let's see about that. Then one autumn day, our only car got repoed. She called the bank. The bank said I was 3 months behind on my payments. I knew that wasn't right. That's when she told me it wasn't working out. She said she was tired of being broke and struggling financially. She wanted something better out of life than being broke all the time. The interesting thing to note here is that she hadn't worked in a couple of years and had been living off my paycheck. I'm a network engineer, live comfortably in a fairly nice house with lots of the latest toys and gadgets, and everything but my newest car is paid for. I would hardly call that struggling. Right. So he's basically taking care of her completely. She hasn't worked in 2 years, he said. They're going at, she pretty much wants for nothing. He lets her go shopping, spoils her rotten. This guy has a decent job, and except for the car, everything's taken care of. And she doesn't want to struggle financially. What I'm guessing is going on here, she's milked him for everything that she thinks she can get out of him. And that's that. Doesn't want to stay in it. And now she wants to go on to somebody that obviously makes more and she can get more. And I'm guaranteeing you a woman like this has a replacement already and a guy that obviously makes more. So this guy, he's done. She's gotten everything she's got needed out of him, and now he's toast. But apparently it wasn't good enough for her. So she left after the car got repoed. I was upset about it and went to my mother's house for the day while she packed her shit. While I was at my mom's, I paid the repo fees, and the past due balance for the amount on the bank told me that was owed. Turns out the balance was for a different account. The bank had repoed the wrong vehicle and given me the wrong account number to pay. So I paid somebody else's account. They fixed it, applied the balance to my not past due account, and promptly gave me my car back. I would raise holy hell if I own my car. I own both cars. I have a car I use for work, and I have a car, my own personal car. And if I had a loan and the fucking bank repoed my car and they thought I was somebody else, I would raise holy hell with those fuckers. I came back that evening with some friends, and she had taken everything. He says that in capital letters. She took all the furniture except a couch and my bed and my kids' beds. I know he had kids. She took collectibles, decorations, food, basically everything that wasn't nailed down. Also, when she left, she took her 2 cell phones that I had been paying for on a payment plan. So I still had to deal with my cell phone bill being $300 a month for 3 phones when I only use one of them. I still owe $1,200 for those 2 phones. Then there was a matter of a $2,000 loan she had taken out with my mom that she had agreed in writing to pay back. I sent her an email a few days later asking for my stuff back and for the money she owed, and she responded that I was harassing her, and if I ever contacted her again, she would call the cops and threaten bodily harm from her stepdad. Real classy girl. So let's review. This guy, he was friends with her for years. Thought she was so awesome, so cool, so wonderful. He's never been so compatible with somebody in his life. And she pulls all this bullshit. I'm guessing he probably had the hots for all those years. I'm guessing that when he said that he was friends with her for 4 years, probably what it meant was he was holding out for his chance with her. She had other guys, and he was probably, this guy's obviously seems like a good guy, but I'm calling it for what it is. This guy was probably what was referred to as a male orbiter. The type of guy that's friends with a girl that he really has the hots for, and doesn't want to be friends with her, but he wants to be dating her, sleeping with her, her boyfriend, all that. But she's not interested in him. She's keeping him around to take her out, buy her things, give her attention and validation, and then one day maybe he'll have his shot. That's what this sounds like to me, okay? And of course, he got his shot, and look what happened. Crazy. Goes on, so I suspended her lines, he means the cell phone lines, and didn't say anything. She called me from a borrowed phone the next day to ask me if I was going to tell her before I turned her phone off. I said I didn't feel like I need to, since they were my phones and the account was in my name. Aha. Since then, she has tried to have my electricity turned off, which didn't happen because they called me to confirm. She has tried to sell my car without having it in her possession, which failed. She has tried to call the police on me for harassment, dumped trash in my yard, and called the homeowners association, and broken into my house and left things and taken other things on several different occasions. Why aren't the cops involved here? With all these actions she's taken, why isn't this guy calling the cops? I have changed my locks and set up security cameras since then. So enough on the backstory. Here's where my revenge comes in. I took her to small claims court for $9,500 for property and damages and all the money she owed, and I won. Granted, I have to pay to have that enforced, and honestly, I don't even care to enforce it, but I won. I could see that being like one of these TV, Judge Judy situations or whatever judge shows are on TV now, where the guy drags in the girl and she puts up this whole front about how she's the victim and all this other bullshit. I'm sure you guys have seen this flipping the channels at least once in your life. But the judge has heard and seen so much bullshit, they know what's going on, and the guy's awarded. I'm sure that was a very good feeling. But still, I don't know why this guy wasn't calling the cops and having her brought up on charges for trespassing, breaking and entering, fraud, all sorts of other bullshit. But I'll go on with this story. He says here, revenge is mine. I also got a promotion at my job since she left, was recently given a raise and a big fat bonus. Just got a $1,000 voucher from Delta since they screwed up my flight, and things are generally better than they have been before she left, tenfold. Well, good for this guy, he earned it. She lives with her mom in a tiny room with no air conditioner and no heater. She can't get a car, and he said, my buddy owns a car lot she tried to buy from him because everyone else had turned her down, and he turned her down on principle. Or a cell phone because of her credit, and relies on friends and family to drive her to a 2-day-a-week job and school. She also owes $40,000 for school loans for her first couple of years, and she's got 4 more years left to go. But I guess that's better than struggling, right? Guarantee is she was wanting a different guy that she can mooch off of, And by the way, guys, I'm on a little vacation this weekend over in Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts, and I'm right near this little airport where they do these old-fashioned biplanes by the ocean. And so if you keep hearing an airplane going over, that's what you're hearing. By the way, you ever get a chance to go to Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts? It's awesome. Late September, nobody's here. It's peace and quiet. I got a buddy who has a house near the beach, and I'm relaxing for the weekend. He adds, I just want to add this. After I suspended her phone lines, she got really angry and attempted to get revenge in a number of ways, all of which failed. So now he's going to list all the crazy stuff she did to get even with him. Number 1, she tried to sell my car to a dealership without having the car with her. How stupid can you be? Number 2, she tried to have my electricity turned off. He mentioned some of this earlier, but I'm going over this. Number 3, she hacked my Facebook. I don't know how and why she could do that if the guy had a very good ironclad, very hard to figure out password, but he probably shared it with her at some point, which is stupid. Number 4, she broke into my house several times, left things, took other things, until I changed the locks and put in a security camera. Psycho. She tried to close out my loan account with the bank and had them repo the car. And he says in parentheses, they told her as long as it was being paid, they wouldn't repo the vehicle under any circumstances. Number 6, she tried hacking all my email accounts, bank accounts, Steam account, Xbox account, and any other account she could try and screw me over. Number 7, she managed to cancel one of my debit cards, but it wasn't my main one and she didn't take any money. She just wanted me to face the difficulty of not having a debit card. Again, if she moved out, why does she have access to all this stuff? I mean, this guy, was he really that, obviously he was that naive to leave things around, let her know his passwords, or get kind of an idea what his passwords are? Come on. Guys, you never do that stuff, okay? Number 1, don't live with your girlfriend, ever, okay? But if you do that, or if you're watching this video now, and you are living with your girlfriend, you don't know any better up until this point, for Christ's sake, hide all that information. Don't let her lock up in a safe all your financial information. Don't keep your passwords around. Don't let her know this stuff. Don't let her give him the opportunity to know what you have and what could screw things up. Does this mean that every girl is going to do this? No. But you're seeing an extreme case here that it can happen. Number 9, Number 8, she threatened me multiple times with physical bodily harm from her stepdad and brother. This girl sounds like right out of the trailer park. Number 9, dumped trash on my lawn and call the homeowners association. Number 10, frequently sent me pictures of that cat that we adopted. That one hurts a little bit, but I'll never let her know that. Probably she took the cat. I'm a cat lover. Oh, that's it. All the other stuff, that's one thing, but mess with the cat, that's it. 11, made sure everybody knows what a horrible person I am and how shitty I was throughout her entire relationship. Yeah, he was really shitty given the fact that he paid for everything, she wanted for nothing, let her go on spending sprees and enjoying herself, and treated her like the queen. Yeah, he's real horrible. I'm sure even her so-called friends could see through that one. Through all that, the only time I ever contacted her was to ask for my stuff back. Once. That's it. I gave her a list of stuff that she took, told her she had a week to give it back or else. If she ever attempted to contact me, I ignored it completely. She flipped the fuck out and started trying to somehow enact revenge. I never once called the police on her. That was stupid. I never let on that any of it bothered me. I never said, hey, why did you do this? But she kept on continuously trying to screw me over, failing every single time. I never flinched or batted an eye. That to me is the ultimate victory. Well, that's good that he didn't let her get to him in that sense, and he remained stoic and strong, but he had every reason possible to call the cops on her for multiple reasons and throw that bitch in jail, or at least have criminal charges against her for her record. That's really going to hit her hard. But he didn't. But at least he at least took her to, obviously, court, or probably small claims court, and won. I don't know how he collected all that stuff, but good for him in that regard. But guys, this goes to show you, like I said before, don't move in with your girlfriend. I don't care how great she is. I don't care how cool she is, how sweet she is, how great the sex is. Don't do it. I'm not saying this is always going to happen, but I'm saying this can happen. And there's plenty of other reasons. I did a video on why you never move in with your girlfriend about 5 months ago when I first started the channel. And I took a lot of heat from women who obviously didn't like what I was saying, but that was just one aspect. There were a whole lot of other things. And it also goes to show, guys, what happens when you shower someone with all sorts of gifts and things like that and money. A lot of women are like kids. You're going to spoil them rotten. They become little assholes. If they weren't little spoiled little assholes already. I'm guessing, like I said before, this guy, when he said they were friends for 4 years, he was on the waiting list. He was a male orbiter that would validate her and give her attention and was just waiting for his turn, and he got it. And she was probably with some other guy, and now, and she probably was hooking up with some other dude. With all this behavior, she's probably hooking up with some other dude also. And I think the reason she abruptly ended the relationship where he was giving her everything is probably one, because she didn't want to have to actually have a job, because he said she was working part-time, God forbid. But also, she then was looking to move on to a better prospect. That, this guy was making $100,000 a year, $120,000 a year, and comfortable. She's probably looking for a guy that made $300,000 a year and she could get her own car out of, and all this other stuff. So that's how it operates. That's how gold diggers work. So, but glad he got her in the end with regards to the court hearing. It's not a major revenge story, but he got her, so justice is served. So, and I hope this guy learns his lesson, doesn't do the same stupid ass thing again. So, but if that was an interesting thing to go over, guys, again, be careful. So, all right, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.